What is going on at GP surgeries? Most people's sort of user experience is that it's impossible to get appointments, very difficult just to get through to the receptionist. So now GPs are talking about cutting their hours by cutting their hours by 2.5 hours a day.
Yeah, I mean, there's a number of really important issues going on, which patients will be very aware of. GPs are as concerned as their patients that they're not able to get the appointments that they need or want. And that's in part because of the really big increase in the number of people contacting their GP practice. We've seen a huge increase in workload pressures in the last few months. We're seeing and offering more appointments than ever before, and that's not yet meeting the full need of our patients. But at the same time, we've seen a fall in the number of GPs available, either those GPs in the workforce, GPs being trained, GPs staying in the workforce, as well as practice nurses and others. So we don't have sufficient workforce capacity to meet the growing needs of our patients. I think those two things taken together with the huge backlog in care following the pandemic is having a major impact both on our patients, but also on the well-being of those working in general practice.
I mean, is the answer, therefore, to cut GPs' hours? Is the answer to pay them more? Is the answer to lift the cap on the number of medical students we train to make sure more people aspiring to become doctors can? And what on earth can we do to try and retain doctors and stop them jetting off to warmer climes in Australia and so forth, where they might have a better standard of living?
Well, it's vitally important that we do something different because we're not recruiting enough GPs, we're not retaining enough GPs in the service at the moment, and we must do much more. The government set a target of achieving either 5,000 or indeed 6,000 additional GPs, and they've singularly failed to get anywhere near that. In fact, we've gone in reverse rather than actually increasing the numbers as they pledged to tackle and pledged to do. So there is a real need to make it more attractive to become a GP as opposed to other professions within medicine. We only train a limited number of doctors in the UK, and we need to train more. We have seen an expansion of the number of medical school places, which is really good. And more doctors are now choosing to train as a GP, but we're still not training enough to compensate for those who are leaving by the back door and retiring or leaving early because of their workload pressures. So we do need to do much, much more to recruit and retain the GP workforce, because that's the best way to enable us to offer more appointments to see our patients.